Hey, hello, and welcome back. I am Debbie Peterson of Getting to Clarity, and this is another episode of the Getting to Clarity Show. This is the place where you come to determine your next clear move in your career, in your leadership, with your team, maybe even in your life. And today we're talking about communication, a hefty topic, but what I really want to get into is communicate like you mean it. And this is a keynote that I'm going to deliver this week. And so it's been on my mind. And I wanted to share some of the things that I'll be communicating during this keynote with you, because I think it will be very helpful to you, to your leadership, working with your team. So let's talk a little bit about communication. And, we all know what bad communication feels like, right? We have been on the other side of it. You're communicating with someone and the message gets lost. It didn't get through. The tone is off. And then before you know it, everyone is just frustrated. People are getting defensive, or they're just tuning out, not listening at all. And the funny part is that we all know what makes someone a great communicator and what makes someone awful at it. I ask people this during my keynotes and during my consulting, and they are able to tell me what it is that makes a great communicator and what it is that makes an awful communicator. So at some level, we already know. But the problem is that we don't know better. It's that we don't always choose to do better. And therein lies the difference. It is the choice that comes between a great communicator and an awful communicator. And so that's what this session is about today. Great communication. It isn't luck. It's not just a personality thing. It's a choice. It is a mindset, and it is deciding in every conversation to connect with the person as a person intentionally, instead of just doing it unconsciously and reacting out of habit. Because how we show up when we communicate decides whether people trust us, whether they want to follow us, whether they want to keep working with us. So this hasn't gotten easier, has it? I think it's actually gotten harder, because we live in a world where it is easier to text, to email, or to direct message somebody than to actually talk to them. Technology makes everything so quick and efficient, but sometimes too quick. We have crawled into our phones and out of real conversation. We are losing the art of just being able to sit across from someone, see them as a person, listen to what they're saying, and asking questions, and frankly, caring enough to just get past the surface or the distractions. So communication isn't just words. It's what turns the understanding that you glean from a conversation into something you do with it, into results. And for leaders, listening with care builds trust. It builds influence for you, and it helps to amplify your impact. So why does this even matter? Well, here's why. Poor communication is going to destroy trust faster than anything else. It causes confusion. It causes frustration, missed potential and opportunities. People notice. Your team notices how you speak, how you show up, and how clear you are, and they take their cues from you. So let's make this really practical. I want to give you a tool. And one of my favorite tools is what I call the from framework. You have to know where someone is coming from. It's a simple human way to build connection. So F is for family. Anytime you ask someone you don't know, are you from around here? Do you have family around here? Do you have brothers and sisters? Anything like that. That surrounds the family element. So family and friends, ask about the people who matter to them. R is recreation. And a very simple question there is, hey, what do you like to do when you're not working? What is it that you enjoy doing? It could be that it's exercising or going to their kids' games or reading, or me, it's cooking, right? So finding out what they enjoy. And it's not about gaining knowledge. It's about gaining connection. You're learning who these people are and what really matters to them. And then you'll find the synergies, the things that you have in common. O is for occupation. Now, the easy question when it's someone who doesn't work for you is to say, well, what do you do for work? But what if instead you ask something like, what has you the most excited about your work lately? Why is it that you do the work that you do? Why is it meaningful to you? You really get to learn about what people value when you ask questions like that. And then M is money, but not like you think. You're not going to ask someone how much money they make. That is a rapport breaker. But you are noticing what it is that people value. Maybe you notice the car that they drive and hey, I'm thinking of getting a new car. Would you buy your car again? What do you like about your car? Maybe it's you're going to have a long weekend and you or going on vacation. And what are the books? You read a good book lately, or is there anything that you would recommend? Or, I really need to do something else besides work, and find out what their hobbies are and what they spend their time on. It can give you information, but more importantly, it gives you information about them and it helps you to connect to them. Now, you don't need a list of questions. This is not the stare them down and grill them sort of question asking. This is just with gentle, genuine curiosity. Because when you ask with real interest and you listen to connect with them, then you build a relationship. You build that connection, and connection builds trust. So, good communicators, they choose their approach. It's not left by chance, it is by choice. They slow down, they think about what the other person needs, and then they listen to understand, not to make their reply. They adjust perhaps their tone and their timing, or maybe their words, to fit the person, to fit the moment. They don't talk at people, they talk with them. Because, well, here's the deal. The way you communicate, it shapes the space in which you lead. You create that. So if you want people to feel seen and heard and that they're valued, then show them that they are. So if you lead a team, remember this: they're watching you. And if you are rushed, if you are reacting, if you are clear as mud, then they're going to be the same way. But if you are intentional, you stay calm, you are clear, then they're going to follow your lead, or at least try to. So for you, try it. Model curiosity in your next meeting. Ask open-ended questions, meaning a question that they can't easily say yes or no to. Acknowledge ideas. Even if you don't agree, you can say, well, that's an interesting idea. Tell me a little bit more about that. These are really small choices that can make a huge impact in your leadership and with your team, in your life. So here's something I'd like you to try this week, because I want to take the principle and put it into action. I want you to think of one person on your team. Maybe you've had a little bit of trouble connecting with them. Don't try to just fix it, but get curious instead. Maybe you use the from framework and you start a real conversation. Ask, listen, learn, and you might be surprised how much changes when your goal is to understand instead of persuade. So you want to be interested, not interesting. That's the distinguishment, okay? So in communication, especially great communication, it doesn't just happen. It's a choice, and it is something that we have an opportunity to practice each and every day. So every conversation is a chance to connect, to clarify, to build relationships, to build trust. So your next clear move is simple. Choose connection over correction. Choose curiosity over assumption. And choose clarity in your communication instead of chaos. So communication, you want to do it like you mean it, like it's a person and you see them, and that's where you want to be. And that is where your leadership communication begins. So if this message resonates with you, I would love for you to head on over to my website at www.debbiepetersonspeaks.com. Check out my keynote, Communicate Like You Mean It, and other leadership readiness programs that I offer. So be good to yourself, take care, and bye-bye for now.